Hey Ken, welcome to the 2019 OEC golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through, put you back in your dress position, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you here in your setup, let's take a look at your posture. We can see that your spine is nice and straight, not a slight tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally off your tilted spine, and the club works out to the ball. So really good posture here, also in association with good balance. Next thing we want to observe is your alignment. We can see your feet aiming out to the left, carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines of camera would have an appearance of converging. Nonetheless, even with that conversion, we can see that you're set up just inside that tree line out towards the left rough. Now, while we're taking a look at your feet, let's also take a look at your knees, hips, arms, and shoulders. So even though your feet are going left, your subconscious brain is telling you that you need to hit the ball back to the center of the fairway. So what's happening is you can see that your knees, let me just change the color there, your knees are actually running a lot more parallel to the intended target. So if we carry that out, you can see parallel lines will have the appearance of converging. So your knees are going a good place, but then your hips go a little bit right, then your forearms go considerably to the right, and your shoulders are going a lot to the right. And that's because your subconscious brain is telling you that you're set up left, but yet you need to hit the ball to the right. So we'll see what sort of forms of a compensation you make in your golf swing as we go ahead and take a look at a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. We'll flip them over to left-handed. Now we got some color-coded lines here on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. With Jordan initiates his takeaway by creating good shoulder rotation, bringing his arms and hands back as well as the club. And we're going to see the club come back directly along the red line on plane. From this vantage point here, we want to start incorporating some good wrist hinge into play where we're going to transition the club head from below to above our hands. And then we want to work the golf club up to yellow or blue. As Jordan sets the golf club at the top of the swing, we can either set our right arm and the club on the yellow line, anywhere within the blue-yellow V zone, or on blue. And that's what we see with Jordan Spieth here. His right arm and his club are situated on the blue line. We have full shoulder rotation. We do that about a very stable left leg. Let's go ahead and take a look at your backswing here. You draw your hands back real nicely, turning your shoulders. Obviously, the club moves underneath the swing plane. Just means the club shaft and club head have moved to the right. We've got to get some wrist hinge into play here so the club can sort of recover back into position, so we get a little bit of wrist hinge through there. And then let's watch and see where you take this to the top of your backswing. So when you set the golf club, you obviously set your arms very shallow, means your right arm's way below the yellow line at this point in time. You have good shoulder rotation, nice stability on your left side. The triangular position in your arms is still good relative to your core. Your club's in good position relative to your arms, but we would like to see the set position a little bit more upright with the right arm a little closer to the yellow line. And we'd also like to see you maximize or create more wrist hinge so we can create more club travel. As we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our left foot to our right foot, create some lateral motion, driving the knees and the hips to the target, unwinding the core, and fire in the hands. And in doing so, we need to make sure we're bringing this golf club from that blue-yellow V zone back down onto red. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club is returning back to plane. Also at this stage of the golf swing, we want to take a look at the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. Refer to this as the check mark position. Simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind our hands coming into the hitting zone, which is going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone the ability to hit the ball straight, as we've already duly noted that the club returned back to plane. With your transition back into the ball from here, you have an over-the-top move where you shoot your hands out in front of your core. Transitions looking good with your feet, knees, and hips. But unfortunately, with you pushing your hands out in front, that golf club's going to come into the ball too steep and attack the ball from out to in. At this point in time, we can take a look at your lead form in your club and basically see that you do have your backwards check mark. So creating some power in your golf swing won't be an issue. But the problem is the consistency in hitting the ball straight is going to be very difficult. Well, it's not going to be difficult. It's going to be actually impossible due to the fact that you just can't produce a straight shot with the geometry that you're going to be coming into the ball from. So if we continue to track the club head coming in the ball, we're going to watch this club move further out in front and then further out in front. So if we sort of connect the dots here, we can get a really good visual as to what the descending plane was with this golf club and how the club has not returned back to the red line. Whereas with Jordan, as we've already noticed, the club was already back on plane, continues to attack the ball from directly on this red line. And as I already stipulated, this is what allows us to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to our alignment. Lastly, assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. At this point in time, we can take a look at the path of the golf club, and we can see that Jordan's club is inside the ball, expanding out to make contact, moving through on a nice, natural, subtle arc. And with you, your club stuck outside the ball, dropping down and across to make contact. So very simply put, if we square the face up to that path, you will have the ability to pull the ball back in this direction. And that is your compensation. So as we already noted, I said you were going to create some form of a compensation to hit the ball back at your target due to the fact that you were set up way over here into the inside of the tree and to the left of the fairway. So again, your feet were going in this direction here. Parallel lines have an appearance of converging. So to avoid that, you can see that your swing path is following the line of your shoulders that you achieved subconsciously at address, where your subconscious brain was saying, hey, I'm set up at blue, but I got to hit the ball to yellow, and the path of the golf club is doing just that. So the issues that arise here is when we're swinging the club from an out to in path along the red path, what's going to happen is not only will you perhaps pull the golf ball back online, but if you over release the club, what's going to happen is you're going to pull draw it or pull hook it. If you leave the club face too open, what's going to happen is you're going to pull slice it or block slice it. And then if you time it okay, what will happen is you'll just hit this sort of pull straight shot or subtle pull draw or subtle pull fade. Neither one of those probably going to hurt you too much. So, you know, we're trying to keep it within that yellow zone. So in summary, I mean, pretty simply put, when the golf club attacks the ball from outside, moves across to the inside, if we over-release the club, it's following red arrows. Under-release the club, it's following blue arrows. And if we time it properly, you'll be able to pull straight it or pull fade it or pull draw it towards the intended target. Now, through impact here, we can see his heel off the ground. Just watch the continued activity of that left heel up off the ground, up on the toe of the left foot. We can count all the spikes in the shoe, and we can see that he firmly plants himself on his right foot, keeping his weight there, not spinning out, and that allows his hips to get square, shoulders to fully rotate, hands to finish high. With you, when you come through the golf shot there, you do eventually, you get your heel off the ground, but then you start spinning out on your front foot and your back foot, and then you take a step with your right foot. So a lot of spinning out and losing the balance when we're done. Creating a proper footwork through to the finish isn't that difficult. So if you just learn to, when you swing through, bring your left heel up off the ground, get up onto the toe of your left foot, and keep your weight displaced on your right side when you're done, that would obviously be ideal. Now, there's some really great athleticism here from you. Your hands work really well back and fire through. Your core works well. You coil back, you uncoil through. You start to create good footwork getting to a finish, but then through impact, you obviously have this stepping out. That isn't what we're obviously looking for as it pertains to proper footwork and balance to the end of the finishing position. And ultimately, when it really comes down to it, again, if we want to be consistent and hit straight golf shots, the three things we need to aim well, we need to bring the club down on plane, and we need to square the face up. Unfortunately, in your case, you're aiming way left with your feet. Subconscious brain is telling your upper body, hit the ball to the right. You get the golf club at the top of your backswing, you come way over the top, attack the ball from out to in, trying to pull the ball back towards the intended target. At that point in time, if you over-release the club, which it looks like you did, you're going to pull the ball or hook the ball too far right. Leave the face too open, you'll pull slice it, and if you time it okay, you'll pull fade it, and it'll find the intended target. Okay? Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. If at any point in time you ever want to work on any aspects of your golf game, I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all and you guys are looking for a unique gift to give to your guests, certainly feel free to touch base. Be happy to discuss those swing analysis services with you. Anyways, again, hope you had a great day. Hope you've had a good summer. Hope you get a chance to play a little bit more golf here in the fall. And we'll see you next year.